My dad went in actually and talked to the high school coach there before I even stepped foot in the mat room, because he wanted to make sure everything was going to be all right. And the coach says to him, you know what, I've never had a girl wrestler before, a girl that wanted to wrestle. And my dad said, well, I've never had a daughter that wanted to wrestle before, so we're in the same boat.
When I first started competing, there weren't any sponsors. There was no way to even get to the World Championships. I was lucky enough to find my club sponsor in Sunkist Kids that was able to believe in me just that little bit and send me a couple places, and I kept winning and he kept sending me.
My first girls high school nationals, the USGWA's national tournament for girls in high school, was in 1998. They had 247 girls, and we thought that was the biggest tournament ever. Now they have thousands of girls there. Every single year numbers are growing, you know, doubling and tripling sometimes. And there are lots of girls out there that love it.
A lot of people don't even know that women's wrestling exists. There's been about 12 to 15 world championships, and then in the 2004 Olympic Games they started women's wrestling. So we've actually had one Olympic Games, and the wrestling's good.
What the Olympics did for wrestling, for women's wrestling, was huge because it gave instant credibility to the sport. No matter if you agree with it or not, all of a sudden it's an Olympic sport. That brings credibility. And so, you know, that was very important from the USOC standpoint, from USA Wrestling standpoint, and from coaches out there that are wondering if this is really real. I mean, it was a huge part of the growth of women's wrestling. And for the USOC, it's an Olympic sport. They don't care where the medals come from. We want Olympic medals.
I'm a guy with a lot of visions for the sport of wrestling, for the amateur wrestling. And with those visions, I'm a little extreme because I got a tremendous passion. And so that's why I'm even looking beyond the traditional boys and men wrestling. I'm looking at the women.
The challenges are to create opportunities for young women to participate in the sport. There seems to be a lot of latent talent wants to do this kind of sport, and there are a lot of parents who are supportive of this.
In the United States, we've grown from 200 participants with young ladies in the high school level to about 6,000, and this is just within the last 6 or 7 years. So it's on the rise, but people still don't even know about it.
Women's wrestling should be included across the country in every nook and cranny. To have half of our population locked out of certain things that they want to do is just not acceptable.
So you get the girls in the room and say you're welcome here and teach them and pass on the knowledge, it's not going to grow and develop.
We can actually grow our sport big time by just trying to get an equal amount on the other side. And so if we have 250,000 high school wrestlers right now, well, all of a sudden we jump to 500,000 if we had an equal amount.
We'd like to get more female coaches in the picture. I think that would help, and have more meets and tournaments where these young women could be showcased, and we're attempting to do that through the National Wrestling Coaches Association and USA Wrestling.
At the college level, there's not many teams, but there are teams, and people don't even know that. And the teams that are out there are loaded. They have numbers, many numbers at the weight classes.
We have thousands of women involved in our sport at USA level across the country, and that some of the states have thousands of people just in that one state. And they have to point this out to the administrators, the athletic directors, and show them that there's a will and a volume that want to be involved. Their numbers are increasing. The colleges that are adding women's wrestling to their are continuing. They're not dropping the sport, they're adding.
And wrestling is a sport that's very great because it's developed all by grassroots level people.
In order for women's wrestling to move forward, the coaches coaching the sport, the administrators involved with the sports, and the parents involved with their kids, they have to accept the sport, and they're going to be the ones that move this sport forward. Everyone should have the chance to be involved in the sport of wrestling.
I was hoping someday that girls would be able to be raised and say, of course I wrestle, why wouldn't I?
I've gone to 8 world championships, placed 8 times, you know, it doesn't matter what I do from now on, like, you can't take that away.
I think that women's wrestling has proven over the years that if the opportunities are there, women will rise to the challenge. Girls and women want to wrestle.
At one time in my life, I really thought wrestling wasn't for everybody, but after being around it for so many years, I could say this now. I could say wrestling is not for everybody, but it should be.
I want to make a difference, and I want to make a change because I just really love the sport, and I'm proud to be a part of that. And you know, 4 world titles later, and a couple other medals, but for myself, but also my friends, the medals that they have, it's neat to be a part of that. It was a long time ago, and we've got new heroes today, and I think that that's just wonderful. I'm just looking forward to seeing them all for tomorrow because now I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
We're doing well at the Olympic level and the World Championship level. So from that point of view, we're doing well. It's just that we barely touched the grassroots level yet.